Welcome back everybody to another video here on chemotherapy. If it's your first time checking out this channel, thanks for stopping by. Please consider subscribing to this channel by clicking that subscribe button down at the bottom. And don't forget to click that little bell on the side so you can get notifications to when I post a new video. Tonight we're talking about something that can be rock hard, shoots out really hot liquid, and can be very intimidating. No, I'm not talking about the Vienna-sized pocket rocket I got in my pants. We're talking about volcanoes. Let's do it. So yeah, I've been getting tons of really great questions coming in through my YouTube account, through my email, through Facebook. I just want to try to answer some of those questions and untangle some of the things that some people might not be too clear about. So let's start really broad, and then I'm going to narrow it down to the actual volcanic eruptions that are going on in the Big Island, Hawaii, starting with this diagram right here. Let's start super broad with my diagram of the Hawaiian Island chain. The question that was asked to me is, hey Chemo, why is it that the Big Island of Hawaii, well, this is my representation of the Big Island in Hawaii, why is it that this island is the only one with an active volcano? Here's the answer. Now the short answer is, the Big Island has the only active volcano because it's the only island that's over a hotspot. Now really quickly, what a hotspot is, it's this area that spews up molten magma and it's going to keep bubbling up through the Earth's crust under the ocean. And it's going to start creating these underwater mountains until it pokes up over sea level, and after millions of years you have an island. Now these underwater mountains are sitting on the Pacific plate that is shifting westward. So what does that kind of tell you? If way back in time what was once here moves this way, that means that when you look at a picture of the Hawaiian Islands, Niihau would be the oldest. And in fact, that's what happened. Millions of years ago, Niihau used to be here, but because of the westward shifting of the Pacific plate, it's now all the way over here. So that's a short answer as to why the Big Island of Hawaii has the only active volcano in the Hawaiian Island chain. Time to narrow the conversation to just the Big Island itself. Tons of questions about, hey, I got a vacation to Hawaii on the Big Island. Is it going to be ruined by this volcanic eruption? Hey, Chemo, are all of the people on the island in danger of being swallowed up by a huge lava flow? Take it easy. I'm going to give you a tour around the Big Island in hopes of untangling all the internet rumor. Let's have a quick look. So here is your 5 cents tour of what's going on the Big Island right now. Now Kilauea is where all this action is happening. We're going to get back to this. In fact, it's happening along this East Rift Zone right in here. If you want to know the people's homes, Leilani Estates, it's in this area, but we'll get back to that. So the Big Island has had other active volcanoes in the past, but they're not active anymore because it's not over a hotspot. So you got Kohala up here, Hualalai. Mauna Kea is extremely important because of its height. The telescopes, the observatories are all up here, 14,000 feet above sea level. So is Mauna Loa, it's about 14,000 feet above sea level. And then Kilauea, that's sitting at about 4,000 feet above sea level. This is the baby right here. But getting back to the discussion about Mauna Kea, this is a very unique place. It gives us the ability scientifically to do a lot of things. Number one, Hawaii is very close to the equator. So when we look at the night sky in a very dark place, because the Big Island is not very inhabited, it's dark. There's no interference from any kind of city lights. And it being 14,000 square feet above sea level on the equator, that's why there's so many telescopes on the Big Island. You guys have no idea. There's snow up here. It's dark as hell, and it is cold as hell too. So Mauna Kea is an excellent place to visit. You can drive up there and check out some of the observatories. Second, because of the active volcano that's on the island, it gives us the ability, number one, to study an active volcano and an active lava lake, but also right off the coast, right about here on the Big Island is Loihi, and it's currently a seamount that is spewing lava. So it's in the creation of building another island. Now what does that do? It gives us vision to see what it was like when life was happening when the island was forming. So the Big Island is a very important place scientifically because it gives us all of these natural formations to study. Let me field the question about, I'm going to the Big Island, I have a vacation, am I going to be in danger? Are all of the people on the Big Island in danger of dying? The answer is no, you should be fine, and let me explain why. Alright, so Kilauea right now is way on this side of the island. The fissures are here, okay? So from here all the way to over here is about 100 miles to Kailua Kona or Kona side. If you're staying on the side, even if you're in Hilo, you're going to be pretty safe. From here, so maybe even like from San Diego to LA, maybe that drive is going to be a little bit, you're going to be fine. It doesn't matter. It's far away. You're going to be safe. Now, the question about air quality, what is it going to be like? It's probably going to be pretty rough, depending on what the wind conditions are and what height the plumes, and we'll talk about ash plumes a little bit later, because elevation is kind of like a blender. Different elevations have different directions that the wind blow in. So as the ash plume moves through it, it could blow the thick stuff one way and the thin stuff the other way. It just really depends. But if you're really sensitive and you got allergies, I probably wouldn't recommend going, because volcanic ash is really nasty. Now let's have a look at Kilauea real quick. This is the thing that interests me the most. So Kilauea and Mauna Loa are part of the Volcanic National Park system, right? They're all together. But here's Kilauea, right? It's doing its thing. Right around the 1980s, Pu'u'o'o, which is a vent that opened up like right in between over here. And keeping in mind, this is not a very good representation. There's more space involved here. But Pu'u'o'o would fall right in this area in the 1980s and just spewed massive amounts of lava everywhere. And it's now moved more east. Like, I can't explain how far away from the actual summit this is. Like, this is seriously down zone, man. This is so far away. And it just interests me that the magma chamber that's under Kilauea is now feeding not only Loihi, that's forming that island down here, but it's also feeding these 22 fissures that are so far to the east. Guys, we're talking about fissures like you're walking along, you feel the earthquake and the ground splits open, and there's a chance that molten hot lava is gonna burn your balls off. That's what we're talking about here. Like, people are on super high alert. But just really interesting to me that the caldera is here, and then there's volcanic activity all the way over here. We're going to shrink our discussion even smaller now and finish talking about Kilauea itself. Somebody asked me, hey, can you legally look at the lava river in Kilauea? The answer is yes. This is part of the Volcano National Park system. The visitor center is right up here. It's closed now because this, right in this area called Halema'uma'u, where Pele lives. If you don't know who Pele is, I'm not talking about the soccer player. I'm talking about Hawaiian mythology, the goddess that lives in the volcano. She's a lot more than that, but we're going to keep it at that. This is where you can go look at the lava river here. I think there used to be, I don't know if there still is, a lookout right at the edge of Halema'uma'u. But this is kind of what the situation looks like now. There was a picture on the internet with some guys golfing and the ash plumes were kind of coming up. That golf course is located, sorry, right, I think it's on this side is where it's at. And then the East Rift Zone would be on this side. So that's how close the golf course is to the actual ash plumes that are coming out of here. Now, somebody also asked me, hey, Kimo, what are these ash plumes made of? And it's not that ash that you would get out of a fire. That you can throw some water on it and it's going to dissolve because it's just wood, right? It's kind of like paper. It will just dissolve. Now, this ash is different. It's a result of hot gases being super cooled. This can happen two ways. Of course, from a explosion from the magma. When that 2,000 degree magma comes up and hits the cold atmosphere, it super cools. It turns into these really fine strands of glass. We call it Pele's hair. And rock called Pele's tears. And pulverized rock, right? Boom, it just comes exploding out of the actual volcano. The other way is if the volcano finally kind of creeps its way down to the ocean. By then the lava's cooled down to about 11,000 degrees, hits the cold ocean, boom, you get another explosion. Now you have the same type of ash. It's a mixture of glass, rock, and even finer pulverized rock. Now what does that mean? It's smaller granules of like sand, so that's why airplane engines can't fly through it. If you get it in your car's intake, it's going to ruin your engine. It's basically like sandpaper that's rubbing through your engine. Especially if you breathe it in. That's why there's an alert for people who have to wear different types of respirators. So this volcanic ash is nasty. And getting back to the wind, it can get everywhere and you can't dissolve it. You literally have to suck it up and sweep it and move it to different places. So that kind of is the layout of Kilauea in itself. And an overall look of what's happening on the Big Island for the whole volcanic situation that's going on. So guys, that's the ending of this video. I hope you found that useful. I hope that when you look at a picture or a map of the Hawaiian Island chain, or even when you look on the news as to what's happening on the Big Island, you're better informed. If you liked the video, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. And as always, guys, I'll catch you later.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.